We have a huge update for Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer to go through in today's video. IW took all of the feedback from Beta Weekend 1 and went through and detailed every change they're making to this MP. They talked about minimap.rules. We have perk system stuff here, footstep audio being lowered, sliding, and much more. We're going to break it all down in today's video. So first up here, a bunch of general things they're fixing with the overall multiplayer. We have fixed various crashes, addressed a few gameplay exploits, patched some map geo and lighting issues, and updated progression for some gunsmith related bugs. But now let's go through the hard features here of all different parts of this MP. First up is a huge hot topic, minimap.rules. So currently in the MW2 beta, we only show enemy player dots when a UAV is active. The design reason for this is that we don't want to punish players for firing their weapons. We also want players to actively search out the origin of a gunshot versus just traveling directly to where the dot is on the minimap. We continue to gather feedback on how the game is playing in regards to this topic. So it seems like they're not budging whatsoever on this feature here. Something that we saw in MW19 will stay in MW2's multiplayer, and a lot of people are not too happy about that. Now, Charlie Intel responds to this by saying they won't directly say it, but it's clear there's some sort of internal data that suggests red dots negatively impact casual players. Unfortunate. And of course, previously we talked about Charlie Intel, Modern Warzone, and a bunch of others saying that the build they played of MW2's multiplayer back in June had the red dots on for minimaps when enemies shot, and pretty much that was a much better, more enjoyable version of this MP, at least according to them. And Modern Warzone also said this, still struggling to understand what type of data can make the entire online community's opinion obsolete. And this was a previous poll from him, pretty much asking everyone, do you want a classic minimap or red dots on the minimap in MW2? 88% of the 30,000 votes pretty much said yes, and 12% said no. So again, I do want to mention as well, the Twitter community, which is usually more of the hardcore Call of Duty fan base, are not the entire Call of Duty player base, and definitely does not account for the huge majority of casual players. And again, let me know down below. We have a ton more changes to go through here, but do you agree with this change here? Do you care that the red dots do not pop up when an enemy shoots their weapon in MW2's MP? I know there's a lot of people that didn't really care about it in MW19, and they didn't really care this time around. I'm honestly in the middle. I definitely prefer the classic minimap, but if it doesn't return, I'll be fine, honestly. I still like this MP. It's still fun to play. It's going to be weird, but I played MW19 MP with this feature on. It wasn't that bad. It was fun to play. So it's not going to be a deal breaker for me. Like, I'm not going to cancel my pre-order or not buy the game. Like, I'm still going to play it and enjoy it, but I think I would rather have that classic minimap in the game. But let me know your opinions on that down below. We'll see if IW makes some more changes to that very soon. But next thing here, we have target tracking. We've seen feedback that it is hard to track targets once you get into a firefight. We agree this is an issue, and we have changes incoming to reduce muzzle smoke capacity and to increase the visibility of the muzzle flash to help engage someone who is firing at you. These changes should help with tracking your opponents in combat. Good to see. We are also investigating more ways to visually differentiate enemies and friendlies outside of the standard nameplates above heads of the opposing players. We'll be trying a few changes in weekend 2. More on that on a later date. So interesting stuff there. I didn't really have a problem personally differentiating between enemies and friendlies. I get the first point that they made, but the second point, I didn't experience that, but overall good changes there. For the user interface, a big one here, we've seen the feedback around difficulty editing perk packages, managing loadouts, and accessing the armory. We've identified some UX issues as well as some bugs. These are things we won't be able to adjust in time for beta weekend 2, but they are on the top of mind ahead of launch. Now, a big one here, perks. We've seen varied feedback on the perk package system. Some players love it, and others feel it's an unnecessary departure from the original system. We feel it's a nice shakeup to how perks work and to the general progression of a match. We've also balanced the ultimate perks to be more powerful as you earn them later in the match. We'll continue testing throughout beta weekend 2, including drastically accelerating the earn rate of these to see how players react. Our goal remains improving the flow of all perks ahead of launch. So overall here, I kind of agree with him. I think it is actually a nice shakeup to how perks used to work. I definitely prefer the old perk system, but the new one isn't that bad. I think these changes are good. Getting your ultimate perk earlier is a must. I mean, I like the idea of getting your ultimate perk later in the match. Like, I'm not mad at that, but it just comes too late. So having that a bit earlier and the ultimate perk being a bit more powerful would be a little better. Now, I would actually switch up the ultimate perks. Right now, I think Hardline is an ultimate perk, which allows you to get your streaks faster, but at the end of the game, you know, the game's almost over, so why do you need a perk to help you get your streaks faster when the game's almost done? You know what I mean? It's kind of weird. So Hardline should be maybe a second-tiered perk, whatever that is, so you get it in the first half of the game, but other than that, I do kind of like the new system. Maybe some slight buffs here to certain perks, and that could be a cool change. But let me know down below your opinions on that. You could definitely disagree with me there. More on the perks here. Dead Silence is another hot topic, as many players have expressed that they would like to see it as a perk instead of a field upgrade. We believe it is important to game health that rushers are not able to move at high speeds without consequence. Dead Silence as a field upgrade creates a balance between freedom of movement and predictability of combat. So I know a lot of people are not going to like that there. Let me know down below how you guys are feeling about that. Next thing here, footsteps, another huge one. Footstep audio in week 1 of the MP beta was very high, giving players long distance directional information about enemies. For weekend 2, we have some changes coming in. We are reducing the range of footstep audio for the various player movement states, jog, sprint, and tactical sprint. This will help soften the cost of moving around the map. The second change is that enemy and friendly footsteps are now distinct. This should help players better understand what's going on as things move around on the battlefield. More details to come. So that's a big one there. Having different sounds so you know this is an enemy, this is a friendly, is super important, so I love that there. And overall, lowering the footstep audio, especially if Dead Silence is still a field upgrade, is a big thing there, so I like to see that. Next thing here, we have slides. We talked about this in a recent video. Sentiment around the removal of slide canceling remains positive. We are aware of the workaround and are contemplating how to handle it for weekend 2 of the beta. Another crazy thing here. Additionally, we have some other slide changes for launch which will make the movement feel a bit more fluid and snappy. So I love that there. So they're admitting slide canceling is gone. People overall like it. There are workarounds, and they're contemplating, they're trying to figure out what to do with that. Do we outright nerf it? Do we keep it there? Again, they said slide canceling is possible. It's doable, but it's not as good as it was back in MW19 and Warzone. That's what we talked about in my recent video. But I love their, opinion here. They don't know if they want to completely get rid of it. They're trying to figure out. They're going to test things out. They want to make sliding as it is right now in the game a little better. So we'll see what ends up happening. But overall, that's the end of this article here. I am super happy that they're just being honest with these features here. They're saying, you know what, this is why we're adding this feature. This is why this is the case. This is what we're going to do. Here's the community feedback. Here's why we're not going to change and why we might reconsider. Like, I get it. And I know some people might be mad at some changes and mad at some features, but overall, this is the best they've done with telling us why they're doing certain things and what is the reasoning behind it. And hopefully this could just create for a better gameplay experience for MW2 for the rest of the actual life cycle here. So let me know down below your top features that you like, top changes you still want to see that IW didn't talk about, stuff you're mad at, stuff you're happy about them changing. Let me know down below. I'll be sure to use your comments, put them up on screen for a future video. But that's it for this video. Be sure to subscribe for more MW2, Warzone 2 news update videos like this. I appreciate all of the support recently. It means so much to me. We're getting super close to 100K. So seriously, thank you guys for that. It really means so much to me. Be sure to check out my recent video up on screen about the beta download for Xbox and PC and a beta code giveaway. Shout out to the YouTube channel members as always, and I'll see you guys in the next video or live stream. Peace out, guys.